I said, see, ma'am, we were something that was not good, so. And because he had mentioned that she was even under trial. Hey, you know me. What happened? She's already in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh.
Yeah.
You know,
All right, it's 5:30. Kelly, would please do roll call?
Collins.
Here.
Merle.
Here.
Neese. Here. Neeson.
Here.
Topwolf.
Here. All right, we have a quorum. Would you please rise? Dear God, as we gather this evening, we ask that you influence our hearts and minds so that we govern this city fairly and justly. We thank you for the many blessings you have bestowed on our community, and we ask your continued protection upon our city staff and crews. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I apologize if I sound weird tonight. I just had dental work done and still a little numb. Especially if I start drooling.
Tissues.
Yeah. All right, Kelly.
Next item is the consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay. Looking at these tourism grants, there's some good projects coming up. Good use of that tax money. But any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Next item is recognition of guests. Each guest will have 5 minutes to address council. When you approach the podium, please state your name and home address or place of business. Our first guest is JC.
Hello, Mayor, Council, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi.
My name is JC. I have a small independent news channel called JC News Now. I've recently moved right back to this beautiful city that I love. And I had a few little issues I wanted to raise. I noticed that an ordinance is being passed tonight on the utility rate increase. And I don't know if y'all have noticed, but the cost of living is going up and the rise in wages is not. It's not matching the inflation. A lot of these folks around in this city are poor. They live hand to mouth, paycheck to paycheck, and any increment at all will affect them, the ability to feed their kids. This is an issue. I was curious what this money's going for. And also, I had who is the mayor, and I see now. Good. Are you elected or are you just acting as mayor?
I'm elected.
Good, good. Thank you, sir. All right, I think some of that money from the tax increases might be good for the drainage problems we have in West Plains. Everybody knows what happened last week. A lot of the lower areas flooded and thank goodness no one was really hurt, but it's really bad. And the big issue I have tonight is you have to fill out a form in order to speak in front of the council. This is in direct violation of the First Amendment, direct violation, and you're courting a lawsuit. The problem with this is you have the freedom of press. This is the chance for the citizens to express their concerns, and you're putting a hurdle in front of them for having to do this. That can't happen. And my suggestion is to change your policy and just open a few minutes for people to speak. There may be 500 people willing to speak, but you have to hear their concerns because y'all work for them. This is not a monarchy. This is a republic. Y'all aren't a king and you're not the king's court. Y'all work for the people. And I suggest that my suggestion is that you not put hurdles in front of the people to air their concerns. This is their time and their place. And with that, I'd like to say thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next item is resolution 2024-27. A resolution of the city of West Plains, Missouri, adopting the 2025 to 2029 capital improvement plan.
Motion to approve resolution 2024-27.
Second.
Hi, Earlene.
Hi, sorry I sat in the back and I've already been scolded multiple times, so not sit in the back again. I've got a few items on the agenda tonight. I'm gonna cover this one first, and then when I have the other ones, I'm probably gonna do a whole bunch at once so that we don't have to say the same thing over and over. So the capital improvement plan is part of our annual budget. As a reminder, this is just a plan for any year from 2026 to 2029. Those numbers can change. Those projects and priorities might change depending on how much funding is available. So the 2025 numbers that are in the capital improvement plan match what is going to be in, or what is currently in, the budget that you all will also be approving tonight. So if you've got any questions, we did go over this in a study session in September. And because this is a resolution, it only requires one vote. So this is the first time that you've seen this here at a public meeting.
Any questions? All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Next is Resolution 2024-28, a resolution of the City of West Plains, Missouri, authorizing the mayor or city administrator to execute an agreement between the City of West Plains and Glass Sword Cinema for concession rights.
Motion to approve resolution 2024-28.
I second.
hello, Todd.
Hey, everybody, how are you? This agreement would allow Glass Sword Cinema to sell concessions at our parks events in 2025. So that would include all the events at the Jim McCarroll Sports Complex, the Aquatic Center in the summertime for the pool, the softball fields, and also the baseball fields at Hilburn. Glass Sword would be using their staffing, their products and their supplies, and of course, selling their own product. In exchange, the Parks Department would receive a one-time payment of $6,000.
Now, was this something that was sent out for bid or?
It was not. So they came to us with the proposal, as you guys might have known. So a couple years ago, we stopped offering concessions in exchange for just doing the machines. The one feedback that we've been getting consistently is we needed more robust concessions. They came to us with a proposal. Of course, Glass Sword is equipped for this. We thought it would be mutually beneficial for them, but also for our customers.
And how long is this agreement for?
It's for 1 year.
1 year, so this is possibly something.
Yeah.
It,
for 1 year.
I agree with
And-
some of our big events, concession is a issue.
We think it'll improve the customer experience.
I think so. Okay. No further discussion? Johnny?
Does that include the Civic Center concessions?
It is not. It's just the parks facilities. So it would be the sports complex, the pool, it would be the baseball fields and the softball fields.
And we didn't have to go out for proposals,
We did not go out for proposals.
or did we need to go out for proposals?
For $6,000, and given that it's been a couple of years since we offered concessions, we figured we would try it on a basis for a year, see if it's successful, and then reevaluate at the end of the year. And if it is, we have the opportunity to bid out at that point to offer it to other organizations.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Thank you, Todd.
Next is Bill 4779 to become Ordinance 4779, second reading. An ordinance approving the adoption of the tax increment financing TIF number 2 budget for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2025 and ending December 31, 2025.
Motion to approve bill 4779 to become ordinance 4779, second reading.
Second.
All right, so this one is the TIF budget, as Kelly just said. This is the only TIF that we still have on the books at this point. This TIF covers the South 160 SID area. That's basically Colton's, some of the marijuana shops in there, that kind of area. This budget basically covers the property tax and the sales tax that come in as part of that TIF/SID area. And all of the money goes to pay off the development fees for that space. Would you like me to go ahead and talk about the other 5 items that are on the agenda at this point? Okay, I'm seeing some nods, so I'll go ahead and do that. The next few after this are the utility rates. As just a brief reminder, we did go over these during our council work session. All of these items we went over during our council work session, and they were all on first reading last month's agenda. I don't believe that we had any additional comments after that point, besides the one tonight. And we've got the different utility rates that are increasing is the electric by 7%, water by 3%, sanitation by 3%, and sewer by 4%. Those are all fairly in line with the 5-year plan that we presented last year of what we thought rates would be. We're finally at a point that they are kind of stabilizing as far as the amounts for each year. We're not seeing those big swings like we were with sewer previously. And then the next after that will be the 2025 budget for the city and the utilities. That includes, as I stated earlier, some of the capital projects, but also all of the operating budgets for transportation, for tourism, the library, general operations, and then all of the utilities as well. Any questions I can answer for you guys? I know, it's been a long process. It is worth it.
I've just made a question or maybe a comment.
Yeah.
Sam, this might be best for you to respond to.
Mhm.
When we have our utility rates adjusted,
Mhm.
there are certain, I'm gonna call them pre-qualifications that we have to meet to be
Mhm.
eligible for federal or state grants.
Mhm.
That's what's driving most of these increases. Is that correct?
In some respects, yes, but also we have some high dollar projects in next year that we're looking at. So specifically on the electric side, we're looking to rebuild one of our generation units. We have two that sit up on the hill off of Old Airport Road. We're responsible for generating quite a bit of electricity for this area when solar, when wind, those power sources are down. Typically, the traditional coal-fired plants and generation units have to stand up in order to continue to provide power to the grid. So we're one of those organizations that has to provide that power. So that's about a $3 million project that we need to do for next year. Currently, the generation unit that we're going to rebuild does not work, and so we're able to get by this year with just having the one generation unit. But by building the first one this year and hopefully rebuilding the second one the following year, we'll gain some efficiencies there. But then also there's always a potential that we can sell back some of that power to the grid if the opportunity presents itself. On the water side, we're looking at a water storage project. A lot of DNR regulations, EPA regulations are driving a lot of these rate increases as well. So we have to stay consistent with those regulations as they come through. DNR has said we're running below where we should be in terms of our water storage capacity. So rather than rebuild or build new water towers, we're looking at adding some booster stations and booster pumps to some of our existing water storage units to get more capacity out of those. On the wastewater side, we're looking at a submersible aeration unit to help with, kind of stirring up, all of the ingredients that we need to do there to help it make it easier and more productive and efficient to treat that at the wastewater treatment plant. And then on the sanitation side too, we also have a $750,000 vehicle that we're looking to sort of automate our truck routes. So instead of having two personnel on the vehicle, we can actually have one individual run those routes, and historically in other cities that have used that, we're gaining some efficiencies there as well. So that includes purchase of some trash receptacle units that can work with that vehicle. We have not yet identified the route that we're going to use, but we also need to kind of wait and see how long the lead time is going to be on getting one of those vehicles once we order it. So those are a lot of those costs. In addition to, we do have to have sufficient reserves if we are going to go out for grants for certain projects. That we have, that capacity within each of those utilities if the opportunity presents itself to pursue some grant funding.
Also included in that we have some projects for the stormwater to alleviate like one of the concerns that we're.
Yeah, so we had obviously the two basins that we built this year had a very positive impact on some of the flooding events that we saw a couple of weeks ago. I shared with council a map last week that identified some of the trouble spots. If you notice on that map, a lot of the green areas are where a lot of the new detention basins were put in place. So the cost of those basins has been higher than what we originally thought when we started this planning project several years ago. So currently, we don't have any funding for a basin type of project, but we are looking through as part of our stormwater control and prevention plan, looking at some of those areas where we can, reduce some of that flooding. One of them is going to be along the St. Louis Bridge area. That's a project that we've had in the works for a while. Once we replace that bridge, that's going to allow water to flow through that area a little bit more quickly. So the areas around the high school, et cetera, that you saw some flooding on a couple of weeks ago, that should be reduced quite a bit once we get that project constructed. So,
All right.
and then obviously as grant opportunities come available, we'll be pursuing some of those through CDBG, hazard mitigation, a lot of any source we can find to get that extra dollars so we don't have to use local taxpayer dollars. We look for.
Sounds good.
Mhm.
All right. All right, do the roll call vote, please.
Collins,
Yes.
Merle,
Yes.
Neese,
Yes.
Neeson,
Yes.
Topliff.
Yes.
Bill 4780 to become ordinance 4780, second reading. An ordinance increasing electric rates for the customers of the city of West Plains, Missouri.
Motion to approve Bill 4780 to become ordinance 4780, second reading.
I second.
Okay. Any more discussion?
I'm happy to answer questions if you guys have anything on specific utilities.
I know just, these rate increases, we have to sit here. All of us pay it. So it's not easy, but it's something we have to do. So. Kelly?
Collins,
Yes.
Merle,
Yes.
Neese,
Yes.
Neeson,
Yes.
Topliff.
Yes.
Bill 4781 to become ordinance 4781, second reading. An ordinance increasing water rates for customers of the city of West Plains, Missouri.
Motion to approve Bill 4781 to become ordinance 4781, second reading.
Second.
Okay. No discussion on the water rates? Kelly?
Collins,
Yes.
Merle,
Yes.
Neese,
Yes.
Neeson,
Yes.
Topliff.
Yes.
Bill 4782 to become ordinance 4782, second reading. An ordinance increasing sewer rates for customers of the city of West Plains, Missouri.
Motion to approve Bill 4782 to become ordinance 4782, second reading.
Second.
Okay. Any? All right, Kelly?
Collins,
Yes.
Merle,
Yes.
Neese,
Yes.
Neeson,
Yes.
Topliff.
Yes.
Bill 4783 to become ordinance 4783, second reading. An ordinance increasing sanitation rates for customers of the city of West Plains, Missouri.
Motion to approve Bill 4783 to become ordinance 4783, second reading.
Second.
Kelly?
Collins,
Yes.
Merle,
Yes.
Neese.
Yes.
Neeson,
Yes.
Topliff.
Yes.
Bill 4784 to become ordinance 4784, second reading. An ordinance of the city of West Plains approving the adoption of the budget for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2025 and ending December 31, 2025.
Motion to approve Bill 4784 to become ordinance 4784, second reading.
Second.
Did you have anything to say on that?
Sure.
Hi, this is the budget that we went over in September. We've had just a couple of changes since then, which I went over at the last meeting. So nothing new since first reading. But the couple of changes were just a couple of salary changes for personnel that are already in place right now. So we just didn't anticipate them and now we needed to. It's a total of, I think it was like 18. I'm not gonna guess. 14,000 total for the whole budget for the millions that is in here. So.
Alrighty, Kelly?
Collins,
Yes.
Merle,
Yes.
Neese,
Yes.
Neeson,
Yes.
Topliff.
Yes.
Bill 4785 to become ordinance 4785, second reading. An ordinance of the city of West Plains, Missouri, amending chapter 10 of the municipal code by the addition of a new article and several new provisions pertaining to alarm systems.
Motion to approve Bill 4785 to become ordinance 4785, second reading.
Second.
Oh, Chief.
Good evening. I again just want to reiterate, this is a ordinance that we're requesting. It's mainly two parts. It's the alarm registration that lets us know who's got alarms and who to call if they go off. And then the other one would be the alarm monitoring that just keeps people accountable for the systems they put in. I haven't heard a whole lot. I did hear from one local business owner, had a long, good discussion, and I think we both ready to move on with it.
Yeah, I got feedback from him that it was a good meeting and
It was a very fruitful and productive meeting, so I think it eased his minds.
no further discussion. All right, Kelly?
Collins,
Yes.
Merle,
Yes.
Neese,
Yes.
Neeson,
Yes.
Topliff.
Yes.
Bill 4786 to become ordinance 4786, first reading. An ordinance approving the adoption of amended budgets for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2024 and ending December 31, 2024.
Motion to approve Bill 4786 to become ordinance 4786, first reading.
I second.
Hello,
Good evening
Elaine.
again. This is my last one,
Yeah.
okay, for tonight. So this is every year we go through our budget, our current year budget, just make sure that we've got enough money in every single fund allocated to be able to spend by the end of the year. So this normally is what we would call like our cleanup year-end appropriation, just to true up anything that came in. Usually what we see is that we've got grants we weren't expecting, donations we weren't expecting, where there is not matching money in the expense side where we can pay for those without going over our legally approved budget. So that's usually a lot of what you see in here. This year, we also have the replacement of the generator here at City Hall that unexpectedly failed. We did not plan for or budget for that. So we've got the cost of the generator as well as the cost that we rented a generator for the general fund. Now, on the general fund side, we've had enough revenue that has already come in to cover the additional expense that we saw on the general fund side, so that you won't see a negative impact. But on the capital side, we didn't quite have enough to cover. So we went ahead, we've approved we've asked for the expense increase there. We're close, but we're just not quite there. The other big thing that you'll see, of course, we've got the TIFs. We closed TIF number 1 earlier this year. It expired. And then we terminated TIF number 3 last month. So we've got an amendment here to close out that TIF money. It's already been dispersed back to the county, back to all the taxing entities. So it's already been distributed. We just need to account for it on an accounting cleanup type thing. And then the last thing is, of course, on the electric fund side, we've got about 2.5 million for the KV line. That's just a potential cost. We don't really think we're going to spend it. But because we've got that money earmarked in the budget, we need to have, or we've got it earmarked in expenses for a contract. We need to have that just in case in the budget for year end. We, at this point, are fairly certain we're not going to end up spending it, but to make all the numbers match, we need to have that in the appropriation. That's related to, I don't know if you'll remember, but back when that contractor put in their bid, they included the cost of all the materials. In case there was a material that they needed to buy, they would already have the cost in the bid, in the contract for what they would be able to purchase it at. We had already purchased most of the materials for that project. So that's why I'm saying we don't think we'll need it, but because it's earmarked, we kind of need it in the budget.
Thank you.
I know that was a lot. Any questions?
All right, Kelly?
Collins,
Yes.
Merle,
Yes.
Neese,
Yes.
Neeson,
Yes.
Topliff.
Yes.
All right, no council actions. So we'll go to city administrator report. Sam?
Thank you, Kelly. Good evening, Mayor, council members. Just a few items for you this evening. If you are going to be visiting any of our parks, we encourage you to go to the bathroom before you go, because we're going to start winterizing the restrooms in the parks this week. So they will not be available to you. So plan accordingly. Also, construction work at the 160 overpass and Bruce Smith Parkway are both underway. So As construction crews are working in those areas, we ask citizens, motorists to kind of be mindful, be careful as they're driving around those areas. We've got detours up. We're working with MoDOT. Any comments or, concerns that we hear on those, we usually work with our engineer, with MoDOT to see if we need to make any adjustments. But so far, I think people are starting to get pretty used to the detour routes. So if we need to make any changes, reach out and let us know, and we'll see if we need to make any. And then finally, with December coming around, obviously a lot of holiday events are coming up. So we encourage residents to stay tuned to our Facebook pages, either through the city or through utilities or through Welcome Center. We've got a lot of events going on, starting with the tree lighting ceremony, December 1st at 6 o'clock down on the square. So appreciate the cooperation and partnership with the Downtown Revitalization Board, with County Commission. We're working with those entities as well as area businesses to be able to provide some fun opportunities for family this week or this December. And then obviously throughout the month, we've got a lot of stuff going on. So Mayor, I don't know if you're going to say anything about the Zizzers success in postseason here recently, but congratulations to the men's cross-country team.
Yep.
Women's cross-country team, I think, did pretty well. And obviously the football team is district champions, and I think they're playing their next game this Saturday afternoon.
Saturday, correct?
Yep.
And then we have the Grizzly girls volleyball.
Yeah.
They're in Tennessee right now,
There you go.
playing national tournament. So
It's exciting.
went and did a send off for them on Sunday. So that was well thing. Well, next week we have a holiday schedule for trash pickup because of Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Those guys are amazing how they can get that all done. So, but no further business. May God bless, and we are adjourned.